Good day, everyone. So, today we are going to discuss how to match learning targets with appropriate assessment methods. But before we start our discussion, let's start by thinking about this. Have you ever taken a test that didn't really match what was taught? Maybe you were asked to write an essay, but your lessons were all about solving problems. I want you to think about this question and I want you to share your answer in the class tomorrow. So, to start our lesson, here are our intended learning outcomes, but we won't read it one by one. Let's start by discussing clear and appropriate learning targets. So, before we assess, we need to have a clear and appropriate learning targets. So, what do we mean by clear and appropriate learning targets? A clear target means that both the teacher and students understand what needs to be learned. An appropriate target means that the goal is reasonable, aligned with the student's ability, and consistent with the curriculum or the standards. Let's take this example. If you're teaching grade 7 science, a clear and appropriate target might be identify the different layers of the earth. This is specific, age appropriate, and aligned with the curriculum. But if your target is analyze the plate tectonic theory and its global implications, that may be too complex for grade 7 unless scaffolding is in place. So, the question is, how do we assess those targets? So, this is where alignment comes in because not every assessment method works for every goal. For example, if the learning target is to analyze a character in a story, a simple multiple choice test won't be enough. You'd need something deeper like an essay or a presentation. Now, here's an idea. The assessment method must fit the learning target. Different assessment methods serve different purposes. Most targets can be assessed in many ways, but not all ways are equally effective for every type of learning. That's what we always say in our discussions to choose the method that fits the learning target best. Let's take this example. If you're teaching grade 7 science, a clear and appropriate target might be identify the different layers of the earth. This is specific, age appropriate, and aligned with the curriculum. But if your target is analyze the plate tectonic theory and its global implications, that may be too complex for grade 7 unless scaffolding is in place. If we connect it to the second general principle, second general principle of assessment, it states that a good method must be relevant to what's being measured and as objective and accurate as possible. Convenience is also stated in the second criteria. But remember that practicality and efficiency must be given up if your assessment is lacking validity. Let's take this example. Don't use a true or false quiz to assess a skill like public speaking. That wouldn't be so relevant. Instead, observe the student during an actual speech with a rubric. And also considered, like it states in the general principle number 4, it states that an assessment requires an awareness of their limitation because learning assessment has their own limitation because not all assessment methods is applicable to every learning targets. Let's say that the learning target is to describe a process. A matching method would be a written explanation or oral recitation. But if the target is to create, then the best method might be performance task or project. Now, let's talk about the role of Bloom's taxonomy in learning and assessment method match. Bloom's taxonomy helps helps us categorize thinking from basic knowledge to higher order thinking. Each level needs a different kind of assessment. A multiple choice test might work for remembering, but not for analyzing or creating. You can look at this table as the basis of uh, uh, aligning learning objective with the assessment method and example of the assessment format. This brings us to the three-way table of specification, a powerful tool to ensure assessments are valid, reliable, and fair. It includes content areas where the top or where it states what topics are covered, cognitive skills, what kind of thinking is required, and number three is item formats, what type of test or task will be used. Unlike a two-way table like stated or discussed by Ate Sauyen, the three-way table adds the method which helps teacher plan more balanced and inclusive assessment. For example, for the topic states of matter, your true three-way table might include first the content, solid, liquid, and gas. Cognitive skill is applied to the format, experiment write-up of lab observation. You can take a look at this one example from DepEd of a three-way table of specification. So why is a three-way table of specification important? Because it reflects the general principle number three of assessment, which states that comprehensive assessment requires a variety of procedures. This principle reminds us that no single type of instrument can fully capture the wide range of learning outcomes. That's why this table is powerful. It ensures we aren't relying on just one method. It helps us avoid bias, ensure fairness, and brings out the true potential of each learner. A well-constructed three-way table supports validity, reliability, and fairness. Because it measures what it's supposed to measure, it gives consistent result, and all students gets an equal opportunity. Now I'll be giving you an assignment. Read the instructions and I want you to write it in a 1/4 sheet of paper or a 1/2 sheet of paper, then bring it tomorrow and I will question you about your answers. Thank you.